Hi, my name is Nelson DeReche, and I'm here to talk to you today about color management and its importance in every industry. So let's jump right into it, shall we? First, let's talk about colors for a second. Why colors are important and how they work. So the human eye can decipher colors through rods and cones in our eyes. Um, it, Color is our first line of defense when it comes to deciding what something is. For example, when a human sees the red patch on the bottom of a black widow, we know it's danger. Or when we see the black and yellow sign on the road, we know it means caution. Colors affect a message. So if you have something that's black and white, you know that's a very serious tone. Whereas if you have something that's yellow and green, you might think of the summer or spring. Colors also define brands. Whenever you think of red and yellow, I doubt you think of mustard and ketchup. Most people will think of McDonald's because it is the largest fast food industry in the world, the largest food industry in the world, arguably, and its main colors are red and yellow. Everyone knows that, everyone recognizes it. So let's talk about color management, and I'm going to continue to use McDonald's as an example as we go through this. Color reproduction and color consistency make up color management. So what are these two things? Color reproduction is making sure that colors reproduce the same way on different substrates or different digital medias. Color consistency falls in line with this. You want to make sure that it's the same color that's being reproduced, right? You can reproduce red on a piece of paper the same way you can do it on a cardboard box, but it might not be the same red. That's where the consistency part comes in. And that's what color management comes in. Color management is important because it defines the credibility of a company or product. If something comes out orange on one substrate but red on another, it conveys the wrong message and the item loses its credibility. Furthermore, like I said before, we decipher things using color. If someone is, let's say a digital image is created of someone on the beach and they have very peachy skin, but then you, let's say, convert it to a CMYK and print it out, and now they have a little bit more orange skin. It looks like they got a bad spray tan. That's one example of how color management might be important in advertising. Color management, like I said before, is important in branding. Like McDonald's, they need to have the same red and yellow across everything, but furthermore, you need to be able to define your company across the others. So I doubt another company is using the exact same red and yellow that McDonald's is, that kind of thing. Color management is also used in the print industry because color is printed on many different substrates. And if you print red on a mug versus printing red on a cardboard, the red will be different. Changing the values of the inks and whatnot inside the print job will change how the color comes out consistently across those two substrates. And then there's digital color management. This comes in the form of color gamuts. Let's talk about color gamuts a little bit more on the next slide. A color gamut is a three-dimensional space. So let's think of color as hue, saturation, and chroma. Hue is the type of color, so red, green, blue, yellow. Saturation is how gray that color is versus how colorful it is. And sorry, I said chroma earlier, but I meant to say lightness. Lightness is how light or dark that color is. When you combine those three different values on a graph, using those as three different axes, that's how we come up with our visible range of colors. A color gamut is how many colors that a certain color space can see. For example, one monitor might be able to see 75% of a normal color gamut, whereas another monitor might be able to see 100%. The one that can see 100% can see more colors. So we can define a color gamut as how much color something can see. Gamut mapping is one form of color management that we're going to talk about here. That's a conversion of colors from one gamut to another. The way this is done is by taking a look at the two different substrates we're using. So a newspaper is said to be one of the smallest color gamuts, and if you look at a newspaper, they're very gray and dull. That's an example of that. In order for a newspaper to be translated to an inkjet printer or vice versa, you need to be able to convert the colors from one gamut to another by changing the values manually. I hope this gives you a little bit more insight into what color management is and why it's important in our industry and why it's important in every industry out there. Thank you so much for your time.